Have you ever ventured into the shadowy world of trust funds, those opaque bastions of wealth that have long safeguarded the affluence of the old money elite? Picture a treasure chest, secretly stashed away, holding not just traditional riches, but an array of assets from stocks and bonds to real estate. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this enigmatic institution. We're cracking open the vault to discover the mechanics of trust funds and how they secure the future of old money offspring. Because, as Oscar Wilde once quipped, the old believe everything, the middle-aged suspect everything, and the young know everything. True to this, the progeny of old money families inherit not just wealth, but the knowledge of how to preserve and grow it through generations. On today's episode of Old Money Luxury, we shall delve deeper into the intricacies of this financial structure. Prepare for a revealing journey into the secretive universe of trust funds, unearthing how they continue to fortify the enduring legacy of the world's most affluent dynasties. So, imagine yourself stepping into a time machine, dialing back the centuries to the era of ancient Rome. As we wind back the clock, the genesis of trust funds comes into focus, emerging from the birth of fideicomissum. This ingenious legal instrument was masterfully designed as a conduit for the transfer of wealth and property upon an individual's departure from this mortal coil. Now, the Roman law in that age set a labyrinthine trap. Assets could only be transferred to specific classes of individuals, including the unmarried, childless couples, slaves, and foreigners, upon one's demise. To circumvent this maze, fideicomissum was employed as a secret passageway, facilitating a hushed transfer of assets, often through undocumented, whispered agreements. Let's now leap forward in time to the Middle Ages in England and behold the transformation of trust funds into a construct known as the use. Imagine yourself observing a medieval church, knights outfitted for a crusade and feudal landowners, all discovering the versatility of these trust structures. Visualize a bustling medieval church using trusts to lawfully revel in the fruits of the land. And I'm sure you can imagine a knight, armor shining and sword at the ready, sealing an agreement with a designated trustee before he rides off to the Holy Land. The trust becomes a pact of faith, a bond between comrades. Ponder on the feudal landowners, bypassing exorbitant fees linked to their tenure through the clever application of trusts. And let's not overlook their vital role in the artful evasion of taxes. Picture the shrewd landowners, their wealth reflected in the vast stretches of land, using these trusts to sidestep the hefty taxes associated with inheriting lands or sealing marital unions. This seemingly obscure mechanism of trust was, in fact, a potent tool that shaped the dynamics of wealth and power, leaving a lasting impact that resonates to this day. Now, the transformation of trust funds into a modern entity took place during the period of the Industrial Revolution. This era marked a major shift in the British economy, fostering economic growth and introducing structural changes. These alterations increased monetization and market engagement, making tax collection more streamlined and enabling the government to strengthen its fiscal capacity and fund public goods. Fast-forwarding to the 20th and 21st centuries, trust funds have gained recognition as a common instrument used by families with old money to safeguard their wealth for future generations. The trust funds have diversified to encompass a wide range of assets, including cash, stocks, bonds, real estate, artwork, among other assets, which serve to generate income for the beneficiaries at predetermined intervals or ages. This strategic usage of trust funds by affluent families has effectively provided them with control over their assets, ensuring their enduring financial security. Venturing into the gilded world of a trust fund baby, we must proceed with caution. The term, typically a badge for those who've lucked into familial fortunes via trust funds, can paint an overly broad picture. Remember, we're dealing with a kaleidoscope of individuals. That said, we can certainly shine a light on some common threads that embroider their lifestyles and outlooks. At the heart of this coveted existence commonly throbs a pulsating vein of financial security. This robust monetary spine often serves up a delicious platter of emotional freedom and independence, throwing open the gates to a life where pursuing passions and interests isn't bogged down by the grim grind of breadwinning. It's a life where choice is an everyday indulgence, not an occasional treat. However, the life of a trust fund baby isn't always a parade of privilege. Some find themselves teetering on a precipice, crushed under the colossal weight of expectations to uphold their family's glittering legacy. Taking any monumental risks feels akin to playing with a loaded weapon, with their family's fortune in the line of fire. Take, for example, an individual we'll call Alex. Imagine Alex, shaken and wide-eyed at the daunting responsibility of managing his investment account. The mere thought of making a critical mistake that could lead to their family's financial ruin filled him with a terror that consumed their every waking moment. In 2008, when financial markets crashed like a house of cards, Alex held his breath and his nerve, making the decision not to meddle with their investments. As it turned out, this seemingly passive strategy proved wise in the face of such turbulence. Yet this pressure to protect inherited wealth can often prove too much to bear. In some tragic cases, these trust fund babies buckle under the strain and spiral into a vortex of self-destruction. An alarming number are drawn into the treacherous undertow of substance abuse, their lives becoming a dangerous dance with alcohol or worse. They often seek solace in these vices, an attempt to numb the burden they carry, but end up ensnared in addiction's lethal grip. Romantic impropriety, that's what we'll call it to keep in the good graces of our YouTube overlords, can become a dark alley for others, with the world watching their every misstep. The glare of the public eye and the constant scrutiny magnifies their downfall, turning their lives into cautionary tales splashed across the front pages. The golden aura of privilege tarnishes with scandal, casting a somber shadow over the brilliance of their inherited fortunes. Conversely, there is indeed a flip side to this coin. Submerged in their plush comfort, some may sprout a sense of entitlement or privilege, losing touch with the harsh realities faced by less fortunate souls. But let's shatter the myth that all trust fund babies are cut from the same cloth. There's a breed of them who not only recognize their privilege but actively deploy their wealth to paint strokes of social good, committing to philanthropy and community betterment. In the realm of education and careers, their lives often continue to glitter. Unrestricted access to the crème de la crème of academia often sets them on a trajectory towards illustrious careers or entrepreneurial adventures. Unshackled from fiscal anxieties, they are free to map their career paths, aligning them with personal passions over societal status. Their social orbits, unsurprisingly, often reflect their financial stratosphere, drawing in those of similar affluence. Thus, their social galaxy teems with fellow trust fund offspring, or those springing from wealthy roots. Work attitudes among this crowd are a mixed bag. Some may treat work with disdain, a necessary evil they need not endure, while others actively seek employment, not for the bottom line but for a sense of purpose, accomplishment, or a genuine desire to contribute to society's fabric. Indeed, the life of a trust fund baby is as diverse and captivating as it is sometimes enviable. Moving forward, to fully get to grips with the enigma that is trust funds, we must dare to plunge into the nitty-gritty of their anatomy and the smorgasbord of trust fund varieties out there, each with its unique investment playbook. At the heart of a trust fund's DNA are three pivotal characters: the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. The grantor, known variously as the settler or trust maker, is the godfather of the trust fund. They are the trailblazers, willingly relinquishing assets to the trust's vault and dictating its rules of engagement. This omnipotent puppeteer pulls the strings, shaping the destiny of the trust's assets and their ultimate dispersal. Next, enter the trustee, the stalwart guardian of the trust's treasure trove. Tasked with navigating the trust's assets in sync with the grantor's master plan, they must be unwavering in their pursuit of the beneficiary's best interests, guiding the trust's fortunes with a seasoned hand and an eagle eye. And the final piece of the trust fund puzzle is the beneficiary, the lucky soul or entity set to benefit from the trust's meticulous stewardship. The grantor's wishes, immortalized in the trust document, spell out the windfall the beneficiary stands to reap. Of course, trust funds come in all shapes and sizes, each with its own idiosyncrasies and objectives. The roster is as varied as it is vast, with living trusts, testamentary trusts, revocable and irrevocable trusts, asset protection trusts, and many others among the contenders. Now, the grantor's pick of the bunch reflects their estate planning ambitions and necessities, and designing investment strategies for trust funds is no mean feat. It's a high-wire act of amplifying the trust's asset pool, whilst carefully attending to the trust's unique needs and demands. The trustee must devise an investment game plan that resonates with the trust's blueprint and aspirations, weighing up the risks, time frame, and the beneficiary's needs. The tools of the trade often include diversification, asset allocation, and astute risk management. Thus, the complex web of trust fund management and allocation isn't as simple as dumping a bunch of money into an account once grandma or grandpa passed to the other side. And the storyline of Wes Anderson's classic Grand Budapest Hotel is often truer to life than we might think. Additionally, trust funds wield substantial clout as strategic instruments in financial planning, acting as stalwart guardians in the realm of estate planning and wealth preservation. Their allure lies in their myriad advantages, from tax efficiencies to astute risk management, making them the siren call for those individuals and families seeking a fortress for their assets and a compass for their future. Their prowess in estate planning is legendary, offering a conduit for individuals to hand over assets to beneficiaries, respecting their stipulations to a T. By entrusting assets to the vault of a trust, grantors ensure their hard-earned wealth dances to their tune, offering financial succor to beneficiaries across the generational divide. The trust's cornucopia can cradle a variety of assets, spanning the gamut from investments and cash to real estate and other prized possessions. The tax efficiencies of trust funds are manifold, influenced by their configuration. Irrevocable trusts, for example, can make yearly contributions free from the shackles of gift taxes, with their assets enjoying a protective shield from estate taxes. Trust beneficiaries typically feel the taxman's touch on the distributions they draw from the trust's earnings, while the trust itself may shoulder its income taxes. Trust funds can also turn the tide on estate taxes and probate fees, potentially reducing or wiping them out altogether. As well, the strategic chess game of risk management is crucial in trust funds, as it plots out potential pitfalls linked with trusts, including legal, financial, and operational landmines. By instating stringent oversight, employing diversification, and rolling out asset protection stratagems, these hazards can be minimized, safeguarding the trust's assets. Now, as we think about legendary old money families and their respective trusts, 3 family trust fund tales surface, illustrating how the wealthiest dynasties have masterfully wielded these financial instruments to safeguard their legacies and build for tomorrow. First up, the DuPont family, American industrial royalty and long-standing proponents of trust funds. In 1935, Alfred I DuPont brought the Alfred I DuPont Testamentary Trust into the world, a philanthropic endeavor with the sole beneficiary being the Nemours Foundation. At its genesis, the trust boasted assets worth a hefty $40 million. Flash forward to 2015, and that figure had ballooned to a staggering $5 billion. Like an heirloom passed down through the generations, the DuPonts have used their trust funds to manage their considerable wealth with finesse, ensuring its continual growth and preservation. Next on our tour of trust fund titans, we encounter the Mars family. Shrouded in secrecy and chocolate-fueled success, this confectionery dynasty has harnessed trust funds to orchestrate their wealth and cultivate a privacy as elusive as their famed Mars bars. Although details of their trust funds remain under wraps, the Mars Family Foundation serves as a beacon of their philanthropic endeavors. This charitable powerhouse deploys its formidable resources, connections, and acumen to champion a raft of charities and initiatives, fueling their sustainability and triumph. The trust funds of the Mars family have enabled them to conduct their wealth management with discretion, all while sowing seeds of charity in their wake. Last, but certainly not least, we turn our gaze to the British royal family, whose wealth management and succession planning come steeped in trust fund strategy, especially within the hallowed halls of the Crown Estate. This grand portfolio, boasting an array of regal landmarks, marine holdings, and foreshore lands, is the jewel in the monarchy's financial crown. Despite the monarch's symbolic ownership of the Crown Estate, the actual asset stewardship falls to the estate's chair and board. Trust funds have emerged as an indispensable aid in managing the royal coffers and smoothing the succession process, ensuring a seamless passing of the financial torch. And now, we'd like to hear from you in the comments. Do you have a trust fund set up in your children's names, or know someone who is the child of a trust fund family? We always love to hear from and engage in discussions with our community. We'll be looking forward to your thoughts, and as always, thank you for your continued viewership with us here at Old Money Luxury. Cheers. Until next time.